Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started.
Hey, what's up, everybody? John Hiley here with Angela Hiley in the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. And I always notice that she glares at me at the beginning, just wondering if I'm going to forget to announce her.
I give you that stink eye.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel it. It's like penetrating to me right here on the side of my face.
John's like, this woman's going to fuck me up.
I don't like to make her mad. I'll be honest. Be honest about that. Ain't nobody likes to live with a mad woman.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Happy wife, happy life.
You know what you tell a woman with two black eyes, don't you?
What?
Nothing. You done told her twice.
That's messed up.
So what's going on, everybody? We've already broke all kinds of moral codes, wife beating right here at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
So good to go. Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. If this is your first show, you're in for one hell of a ride on the Tactical Podcast Glide. I had to find something that rhymed.
Mm-hmm.
That reminds me of the time that I recently read John Ghetto Nighttime Stories.
I think we might have talked about it, but that was like, I wish I would have had it recorded. It was so awesome. John just picked up a Tupac album.
Well, yeah, I mean, the kid used to have books in his room.
Yeah.
So I was going around, I'm like, Daddy's going to read you a nighttime story, 17-year-old kid. And as he's trying to kick me out of the room and I'm not listening, I realize he doesn't have any more kid books anymore.
No,
Nothing
we got
in
rid
his
of
shelves.
We got rid of those books probably a while ago.
All the books he never read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the one book. Do you remember the Dumb Bunnies book?
Yeah.
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 I recommend that for anyone with like little kids, is the Dumb Bunnies books, especially if you have little boys, because they are going to absolutely love those books and those stories. It's just right up anyone's alley to where their little boy is like ornery and whatnot.
Well, my read came from a Tupac Shakur album that I just remembered some old school Eazy-E lyrics and just threw that in there and made myself look like a poet.
You did.
As he buries his head into the pillow.
No, he was laughing.
And hides from me.
No, he even thought that was awesome too, though. He was pretty impressed.
You know, he says that I'm like, he said a long time ago that I'm like Ice Cube, having Ice Cube as a dad.
I would agree.
You know how like Ice Cube's all serious, but he's like, what'd he say? He can be funny, but then he can immediately be like, what'd he say?
Like really scary.
He said he gonna kill me and you.
Yeah.
For any of y'all don't know what that is, that's
my phone. I'll turn that off.
Oh, is it okay? I'll turn this one off too. Look at that. Every time we're podcasting, this girl is rudely interrupting us. But back onto the track of the show, guys. We're kind of talking about a little something I wanted to. It's been bothering me over the last couple weeks. It's actually been bothering me for a long time, but especially over the last few weeks. There's been many people that I've had to cut out, or I've had to divert them to somebody else to handle any issue of theirs. We've got a team of people that help us out in the business, and I allow some of our clients to have direct access to me until they become selfish fucks.
They become a fucktard.
Yeah.
Say it with me.
Yeah.
Fucktard.
So, here's the deal, you guys, and I want to talk about this because literally if you're fighting with this and you're probably setting yourself up secretly to be people like literally nobody would ever want to help you out. Nobody ever would want to help you get ahead if you're not just having, in general, common courtesy to people, or in general saying thank you, or in general being polite until somebody fucks up with you.
Manners, having manners.
Basically, in a sense, having manners. And I don't even know that I was raised by a family that would be considered the utmost mannered people in society, of course.
You were raised by some hillbillies.
Some hillbillies, but them hillbillies still said thank you. They still held doors for people. They still taught me, in general, how to be a functioning citizen in a way to where if somebody does something fucking nice for me, I will say thank you. I will say please. I will be very, very courteous to these individuals. And I just don't get it when there's some people out there in the world who feel that they don't need to say thank you for something that they receive or something that somebody actually done for them. Especially, now I say thank you to people that do things for me that I pay them to do. You know, I don't have to say thank you. I paid them. That should be the thank you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? You know, if you ever want people to go above and beyond for you or to do more for you, or maybe to take special care of you, because you guys got to think about this, man. People out there that are working for you, working with you, they're going to go above and beyond if you're not an asshole. Basically, meaning they're going to give you more than what you paid for.
Yeah, and a thank you or you're welcome really goes a long way.
Yep. If you're an asshole, you'll with most people you'll get what you paid for, but you're not going to get that extra special treatment, that extra special push. You're not going to get that phone call when something comes up because they remember you as a fucking asshole. Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Yeah, and I think also is like a lot of adults forget about that. I think that when we have children, you know, we instill these manners in them. Thank you. You're welcome. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You know, being completely polite. And, you know, I think what it is like you teach your children these stepping stones into being a good citizen to society.
Sure. You should be doing that anyway.
And I think sometimes, you know, probably with adults, like it's kind of like the golden rules, you know, some golden rules. Like these are things that is instilled with every child, and that is something that you take through childhood, your teenage years, your being a young adult, and when you get older.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a time when my son's standing by a door that he doesn't keep that door open held, especially if it's a lady walking through there.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's an elderly person, he's holding the doors for them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know why? Because he had me glaring at him, or actually looking back and saying, hey, you better hold that door, you know, immediately, because I don't want my son or myself, for that matter, to just think of myself. I want to go one step further and not only have common courtesy towards people, say thank you, be a good example to people around me, but I want to step over that line and do things that you really don't even have to do. I think in this world, we've gotten to this point where if it's outside of us, it's not our problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate because, you know, the people of the past knew something that we really don't exercise today. And that is that it takes a community, you know, entire community to set an example. It literally takes you stepping out and picking up a piece of trash on the side of the road that you see because it's in your community, because it's a piece of trash sitting there. It doesn't really matter who threw the piece of trash down there. The only thing that matters is that you know that you have a little bit of respect for your environment, and you also want to show that to the kids that might be watching, the people that might be watching.
You know, that's so interesting that you brought that up, because we have, and here in Centerville, there is an older gentleman that I guess it must be like certain blocks that are his.
Oh, I know.
He'll be out there like in the morning. And I mean, it can be sometime in the wintertime too. Like he'll have his winter coat on, but he has like 2 different trash bags. And then he's got this thing that like picks up, and basically he's picking stuff up and he's like recycling. But he goes around. I think he's got like a good 2 or 3 or 4 blocks or something. You just see him out there, you know, like every morning.
You would see a little bit of that more in the side of town that we live in. I mean, that was one of the big compliments. Even David, our photographer, who came in from California, who was totally surprised that we actually that there was a nice, really nice area in Ohio. And people were seemed to be I kept telling him that for the longest time, I'm like, Mike, dude, I told Mike, with all due respect, dude, you live in San Diego, you know, it's really nice out here, but our area is nicer and more well put together than this area. He didn't even believe me. Actually, I don't even think he heard me. It was one of them selective things where Mike's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I do not live in some shithole because, you know, it's outside of Dayton. And everybody who came into this community could see one thing. Like David, literally, our photographer, said, I haven't even seen a piece of trash on the ground since I'd been driving around here. Now, I took that for granted until a bunch of people came up here and really started complimenting us on how clean just not only the area around our shop is, but the areas, the roads between our homes and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, you take it kind of for granted because you live here, but it's a clean, very, very nice. There's a lot of nice things. There's a lot of nice businesses, you know, in this area. And, you know, it takes a community to make like that type of stuff happen. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't see, and that's a problem. Like people, regardless of where you live, should have a little bit more respect for the community because literally that's the type of influence. And when I talk about people seeing you picking up that piece of trash, I'm talking about setting an example.
Yeah.
Of saying, hey, you know, this isn't acceptable, or grabbing that, and ideally, us being dent technicians, you know, we see a shopping cart, we're probably like, oh, that's money sitting there, right? But, you know, no, how about just snagging it up or do what I do at Kroger's and throw it clear to the end of the lot until it ramps off into this medium and goes into the grass because they literally have no shopping cart things on one side of the lot.
That's true.
And there's about a bunch of people that do that as well over at the cart. You think they'd get the hint, though, and put one of the shopping cart racks over there. But they don't.
But no.
Yeah. But I make sure it gets over the curb and in the grass.
To where it cannot damage
Hit
anybody's
another vehicle. Even though that could make me money, I don't believe that I need that. So, you know, I mean, and that just kills me with people that I want to work with and people that I want to do business with because I try to go above and beyond for a lot of folks around me, you know? But as soon as I get the signs that this motherfucker is not being appreciative of what I'm doing for him, then the doing is done. You know, I'll pass it, for me anyway, I can pass it along to somebody else. I can delegate it to somebody else. But for me to personally work on it, for me to personally work with somebody, or there's a lot of times I do things where, you know, people, I'll actually pick up the phone and help people out. I'll go above and beyond and do, I'll even consult and talk with them about their marketing and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I don't get a fucking thank you for that shit. I doubt that I'll ever pick up your fucking phone call again. I get people that message me all kinds of shit, if you could imagine. All kinds of questions, all kinds of stuff like that. If I answer you back and then there's not a message saying thank you afterwards, you ain't never going to get another fucking message from me again. Because that's the way I roll. You want to know what that is? That's me teaching your punk ass how to treat me. That's me telling you that I'm going to fucking demand respect. And I expect the people that listen to this podcast to be the same way. You demand respect for your time. It's not about anything above and beyond a lack of respect. And I'm telling you guys out there, if you're not being polite to people, if you're not going above and beyond by letting people know how much you appreciate their help, don't expect a lot of it in the future and don't expect people to give you a leg up.
Yeah, Jonathan did something really like sweet over the weekend. Him and his girlfriend were at the mall and it was like pouring down raining and they waited for a little while, but they really wanted to leave, but it was still raining outside. And Jonathan walked out to the parking lot in the pouring rain and got his Jeep and then pulled it up to the mall entrance. And that way his girlfriend didn't have to get rained on.
Some kids don't think about that. You know who he's seen do that, though, don't you?
You.
Me.
Because you've done it numerous times.
Yeah. And
because you know I'll melt and you don't want that to happen.
Well, I don't want to have to deal with you talking about your hair being wet and all that kind of stuff.
You know what happens when my hair gets wet? Mm-hmm. It gets all frizzy and curly and wavy, and I end up having a fro.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
So anyhow, guys, I also want to tell you guys something super exciting. We are going to be having some of the Gorilla Grips sold at Anson. Mm-hmm. So They put in an order here just recently. And any of you wholesalers out there, I am only going to deal with Anson currently, so don't contact me about it. Especially, that's who I'm dealing with right now. Honestly, that's right now. That's who I'm comfortable with dealing with.
Yeah,
and I'll deal with them because I know what they can bring to the table for me. And they get a lot of traffic over there in Texas, and they're great people. And I'm very, very hesitant, guys. I've been asked to wholesale my hammers. I've been asked to, distribute them and I've been very, very hesitant. So this is my first time that I'm going to be ejecting the tactical Gorilla Grips are going to be going to Anson. So look out for that. We are going to be having one going out for the raffle that they're having. And I know Craig told me I'm not 100% sure what the raffle is for. We're not going to be there this time around, sadly. But we are going to be sending one out to participate on that. And I don't even have to really ask him what the raffle's for. I already know that it's going to be for a good cause. And if Anson's going to be taking care of it, then I'm on board with that.
Yep.
So good stuff, guys. So now you get to hear a little bit of my anger about people who just don't have common courtesy. I think a lot of you guys, if you're listening to this podcast, hopefully you're not such an asshole that you would really expect people to do things for you and not even have the fucking common courtesy to say thank you.
I think it's like cute, and I even get a tickle. Like when we went over to the engraving place, there was an older lady that came out of there with us, and John held the door open for her. And then she thought I was going to get in the car first because we were parked side by side. And I'm like, no, go ahead. And she just kind of had this look on her face like.
Yeah, because first I thought she looked like she thought we may attack her. That was my first impression when we seen the older lady. Are these guys baiting me out here so they can rob and kill me?
No.
So that's what I first thought. So I try to be extra nice and extra polite and all that kind of stuff. It kind of reminds me of a story that I heard. I think it was a lady got into this, was in Las Vegas and was totally terrified. Got into this.
She got in the elevator with
these. Wait! No, don't tell who it is yet. With like these two giant black men. And I mean, she was like so terrified that they could clearly see, that she thought that she was probably in harm's way or something like that.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting such a tickle about it. It ended up being, I think, Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal. Right? Or was it, I know one of them was Michael Jordan.
Was it that? And I was thinking it was Magic Johnson.
It could have been, but they got a tickle. I mean, if you can imagine some little old lady and these dudes are fucking giants, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't, and they probably got a tickle out of it because she didn't know who the hell they were.
Exactly.
And that probably makes it even funnier to them.
Yeah.
They ended up sending her like 24 roses with $100 bills wrapped in them.
Yeah.
And told her something to the nature of thanks for the laugh.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. So,
well, I honestly would think that if you're an older woman and you get into an elevator with a couple really big guys, it would be a little intimidating and scary. I wouldn't get in the elevator. I'd be like, that's okay. I'm going to take the stairs.
Right. Just in general, two giant dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, I mean, she was brave to get in the elevator with like two big grown men.
Yeah. Maybe she was in the elevator and they got in with her.
Maybe that's how it happened.
I bet that's how it went down.
Yeah.
Because if not, she'd probably been like, I get another elevator.
That could have been true. Oh, wait a minute. Do you want to talk about how Zan contacted you instead of how
yeah.
you?
Apparently, Zan tells me that I really fucked up on that one story that I was telling, and that people in Slovenia never. He said, "Bro, we never stuck sticks up people's asses, bro." He's like, that was in I forget where he told me where it was at, but it was hilarious.
You said Transylvania.
Yeah, it was in Transylvania, and that was part of.
Why don't you get your phone out? You can read
shit,
it.
I can read his.
We need to have Zan on the podcast.
Yeah, we need to get him back on the podcast.
Yeah.
Zan's always great, and he's like, "And you knew I was going to correct you," and I'm like, "Well, I was just waiting for it, homeboy." So yeah, here's Zan's message to me. Let me see. It says, "Bro, We are not sticking sticks in other people's asses. Ha ha ha. That was Romania, and Transylvania is also in Romania. How did you know? I will correct you.
I think that one guy was talking about Romania. I don't think he was
really?
talking about Zan's.
In Slovenia.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking about Zan's country.
That's what I get for getting knowledge secondhand from somebody, huh?
Yeah. You probably just got it mixed up.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny though. I like it better that it's Zan's country though for some reason. Sticking sticks up people's asses. Nice. We were talking about the guy was the Impaler is what they called this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was I can't remember his first name, but he was called the Impaler. And I was totally claiming that it came from Zan's neck of the woods, and they were the ones shoving sticks up people's asses. But apparently I was wrong, and it was in Romania.
I was innocent in this whole thing because I had no idea.
Yeah. I just talk shit and then wait for Zan to correct me. About how I was taught the one time I was talking about Patrick Ewing and ended up being Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. You got that mixed up.
Well, fuck. Zan corrected me again.
Yeah.
Mr. Slovenia dude who follows American basketball like it's a religion.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. Zan was a basketball player.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For real, John?
Yeah. No, for real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a basketball player.
Oh.
Yeah. He's first. Well, I would consider Zan skinny. Would you? Zan's kind of a built dude, really. I mean,
yeah.
He's a strong. He could catch me full blow, full
I know.
run.
And you're what, 235?
Yeah, I thought, and back then I think I was more than that. I think I was more. No, I was about 235 then.
Yeah, 235, 240.
Yeah, I float from 235 to 250.
Yeah, I would say 250 when you've went overboard with the eating.
Well, I like food. Well, anyhow, guys, that is our Tactical Tuesday Marketing Monday. And in all honesty, I just believe that you should really consider trying to be polite to people. And don't let that one motherfucker that's rude to you cause you to be rude to the rest of the world for the rest of your life. If anything, be nice to that person, because who knows what the fuck that person's dealt with, why they're such an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't turn into the asshole because you talk or you deal with or you're around assholes.
Yeah.
Take the higher ground and just be a person that is thankful.
Manners go a long way.
Well, not only that, I mean, it has a lot to do with just in general, the appreciation that you have for life in general.
That's true.
Is tied into the way you treat other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having gratitude. If you don't have gratitude, then oh man, it's bad. If you don't have gratitude, you just feel like everything's shitty all the time.
Yeah.
You're in bad shape. I mean, I don't even care if you're sitting in a trailer right now. Just have gratitude that you're fucking under a roof.
Mm-hmm.
Or have gratitude
things
that
can
you
be
have.
a lot worse.
Have gratitude that you have ears to hear a podcast if you don't have eyes.
Yep.
I mean, there's just a lot of things that some people can be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were listening to a book earlier. It was talking about anytime that I feel bad about myself or like you try to get down on yourself. She said that she remembers Stevie Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Basically being a blind dude who grew up and knew real discrimination and stuff like that. But above all odds, being a blind dude who knew all that shit still empowered his way through and still became what he became.
I thought she was talking about what's his name.
What'd I do? Butcher another fucking story?
I thought she was talking about.
Oh, Ray Charles?
Yeah, Ray Charles.
Man, I put both of them on the same platform.
Yeah, but that's different eras though. I think she was talking about Ray Charles.
Okay.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Isn't she lovely? You didn't give Zan an opportunity to correct me. Isn't she wonderful?
But he might not have listened to the book that we're listening to right now.
Oh, Zan listens to all. He's from Transylvania. He knows what we're thinking.
He's not from Transylvania.
He's from Dracula territory.
No.
Where they shove sticks up people's asses.
Oh
we're going to call him Zan the Impaler from now on.
That's not really but I don't know who that guy is. I don't know. He's not a good guy, though, is he?
Who?
The Impaler?
He's a good guy for the motherfuckers he saved.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah,
guess.
the Romanians.
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to talk about Zan on that, and he can
Right.
let us know that was.
All right,
a good
everybody.
guy or
So
not.
anyhow, we're gonna bounce out of here. We're already mumbling along, and
Yes, we are.
we
like
just keep on
always.
going and going and going. So anyhow,
Yeah.
y'all, we appreciate you, and we'll see you on that next one.
Remember, it's all about the hustle.
Bling bling.
Bang, bang.
Pew pew.